Today, I'm revealing 2 of my most powerful strategies for getting a man addicted to you via online dating. Stay tuned because I'm getting started in just a moment. By the way, I'm Jason Silver and this is my YouTube channel, Attract Great Guys, where every week I break down the trends on how ambitious women are attracting the highest quality men into committed relationships. If you want to join in on up-leveling your social skills and attracting higher quality men, hit that red subscribe button and the little notification bell just below this video. So, you're online dating. After you've gotten maybe a response, maybe 2, there are 2 very, very powerful strategies that you need to do to get him addicted to you. Number 1, you need to qualify this guy and make sure he's even a good match. And number 2, you need to create more attraction and build more rapport so you can escalate that relationship to an actual phone call. Now let's jump into the first strategy to qualify a guy. Human beings want what we can't have. Groucho Marx would famously say he never wanted to be a part of any club that would have him as a member. And the reason why this affects us is that there is a perceived scarcity. When something is in short supply, its value is actually increased. We also don't like being told that we can't do or have something. It just creates a rebel response in us humans. So the main key here is to not just open yourself up to any man or person that wants to talk to you online. There has to be a red velvet rope in front of you. You know those red velvet ropes that they have when you're waiting in line for a movie premiere or a very hot nightclub or a hot restaurant? You have to put up your own red velvet rope. There has to be some threshold that men need to cross before they can access you or become more intimate with you. When you engage in a messaging conversation with a guy, there is an emotional, mental, and time investment. And the more time that you spend, the more vulnerable you become. The level of emotional investment just starts to exponentially increase. So it's so important that you protect yourself from this overinvesting and depleting your energy. So the key here is to imagine that there is actually a red velvet rope in front of you. And this is basically a way to position yourself as a woman of value. It should be your mindset, your perspective, your standards, that if a man wants to talk to you, he has to put his best foot forward and make a bit of an investment before you're going to agree to meet him for a date. And that's why the pre-date phone call is so important. You don't want to just go out with some guy who you haven't even spoken to on the phone. Your time is too valuable to make the time and energy investment in going out on a date with someone. Now, the red velvet rope strategy, it's not just about playing hard to get or being better than someone else. This strategy is designed to show men that you value yourself and your time. And it's also respectful to him that you don't want to waste his time and you're protecting yourself from putting yourself in a position to be harmed. So don't be afraid to set your standards high and hold the men that you meet to a high standard as well. Don't accept being treated any less than the highest value of women deserve to be treated. Try not to just give the guy the benefit of the doubt, especially in the beginning, because in the beginning, men are typically on their best behavior anyway. So this means that you don't have to respond to him within hours of him messaging you online. You can wait a day. If he gets upset with you, then you need to draw a boundary. You need to let him know you don't owe this guy anything. You haven't even met him yet. You don't have to be on a 24-hour time response with him. If the guy acts inconsiderately, and you might normally rationalize it or give the guy the benefit of the doubt, I would encourage you to ask yourself this question. What if he treated the woman that I value most in the world this way? What would I say to her? And then take your own advice. Because if you're not treating yourself in your own situation in the same way, then you are not properly maintaining that red velvet rope. Here's a couple of examples. If a guy wants to message you for a month and not meet up, then it's obvious he's wasting your time. You don't have to respond to him often. You could just tell him, listen, you're not looking for an online chat relationship. That's not what you're here for. Or if a man says something that is a bit sarcastic and maybe rude, just remember the root of the word sarcasm is sark, and that literally means tearing into the flesh of. It's not a nice thing. So instead of just publicly laughing off of his joke, you can say to him, hey, that is not really nice. We train people how to treat us. You can be kind but firm. Some men may think that you're being rude. However, those are not the men that you want to attract. The right guys are the ones who aren't playing games. They're They're treating you with the respect and they're following through with their commitments. Don't be afraid to be polarizing with your red velvet rope. It's important. All right, now that you understand the red velvet rope, if he passes the test and you want to keep escalating, use the power of emotion. Now, humans aren't logical. We are driven by our emotions. So you're going to want to tap into a man's emotions, not just his logical brain. And the fastest way to tap into his emotions is by understanding his why. In a nutshell, his why are his deeper motives, his reasons for doing what he does, what drives him. Now, on the outside, people talk about what they're interested in, what they like to do, but there's usually a hidden, deeper, more emotional reason why they're doing what they're doing. And if you can tap into that, then you can connect to him in a more deeper, intimate, powerful way. Once you know his why, you can ask yourself, well, does his why align with my why? Are we aligned on our values and our goals? Always be looking for his motives. And the way to find his motives are to look for emotional spikes in his messages or when you're talking to him. Now, it's more difficult to do this when you're messaging online. In person, you can notice his energy or the inflection of his voice, but online, you have to pay attention to what he likes to talk about and what he doesn't like to talk about, what he's most interested in. Does he talk about what he hopes to achieve, anything about the future? And if you're not certain what he really cares about, then I suggest you just start to ask him. Ask him why. Why are things so important to him? What does he hope to get out of doing something? Ask him what it gives him on a deeper level to get or do that thing. And if he's just talking about an activity that he likes, you can say, so what do you like about that? What about biking do you enjoy the most? If you're talking about his lifestyle preferences, you can ask him, well, what's your favorite part of this? If he mentions he wants to live in a certain city or he wants to have a certain kind of home life, you can always ask him, what do you love most about that place? Or what do you love most about that lifestyle? The more that you can focus on his underlying reasons for why he does what he does, the better, because his why is going to tell you so much more about him than just talking about the what. So focus in on his motives so you can get much more closely connected to his true personality and his deeper self, which is really essential if you're looking for a lifelong partner. So we just went through these two influence tools of the red velvet rope and the power of emotion. These are going to really help you to make sure that you're only attracting great guys and that you're only investing your time into the best men. And when you apply that red velvet rope strategy, it's important. Don't spend too much of your time investing in someone and escalating the relationship before you really, really understand that he's committed in the right match. You don't want to focus on the wrong guy because you're not sitting here looking for a messaging buddy or going back and forth. You're looking for a real life partner. And this messaging, this whole process shouldn't take that long. So if you're spending more than 20 or 30 minutes going back and forth, enough is enough. Just get on a call. Until you get on a call, this back and forth messaging is typically just a waste of time. You gotta bite the bullet and you gotta take it to that next step. One of my premium programs, the Silver Method, actually brings you through a step-by-step methodology that helps you to attract the greatest guys online, to beat all of the noise, all of the competition, and to find a great guy online. It is possible. My clients are doing it. And I created a free presentation so you can learn all about that program. Just click the link in the description, and I'll see you over there. Thanks so much. Be well.